Hello, this is Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger with another California report. Now this week, I wrote an editorial for the Wall Street Journal about a problem that California has been sweeping under the rug for years. Here's the article. It is unfunded retirement promises for government employees. That is what I want to talk to you about today. See, this is a major problem, and a huge challenge for our state. Now, I know that some critics have accused me now of bullying state employees when I call for an end to the runaway spending on retirement benefits, which is, of course, a bunch of nonsense, because I'm not bullying anybody. What I'm saying is basically, here's a problem and we should fix it. I am very much aware that our state employees are terrific. Our state employees are hardworking and making valuable contributions to California, and I appreciate that. But here's the plain truth. California simply cannot solve its budgetary problem without addressing these unsustainable promises. I mean, roughly 80 cents of every government dollar goes to employee compensation and benefits, and those costs have been rising and rising very fast. In California, spending on state employees over the past decade has risen nearly 3 times faster than our revenues, crowding out spending on critical programs such as higher education, environmental protections, public parks, public safety, and much more. I mean, here is a chart. It shows to you that our revenues increased in the last 10 years by 28%, but our pensions have increased by 2,500%, CalPERS alone. I mean, this is embarrassing, and this ought to be addressed. The worst is that much bigger increases in employee costs are on the horizon. The state is now saddled with $550 billion of retirement debt owed to government employees. Now, just to show you how much money that is, we're talking here about 10 times the amount of money that we're spending on education, kindergarten through 12th grade. That's how much money. All of the debt was created without the citizens' knowledge, much less their approval. But the citizens, the taxpayers, have to foot the bill. You have to foot the bill. Now, this year, the state is spending more than $6 billion on retirement benefits, exceeding what we are spending on higher education. Now, this is what you call living in the past. When we start spending more money on retirement benefits for state employees than on our education of our children in our universities. I mean, this is our future. The kids are our future. Next year, of course, those costs will rise another 15%. They're destined to grow so much faster than state revenues, which means they will crowd out every single program eventually in our state budget. This means we will have less and less money for the programs that Californians depend on. And I'm talking about, like I earlier already said, education, law enforcement, and so on, anti-crime programs, health programs, and even what we do for our veterans. All of that will be crowded out by state employees' retirement spending. Now, for years, I've asked the legislature to stop adding to the pension and retirement debt. Stop adding to that. But of course, they've refused to do so because they know it isn't their money that they're spending. It is yours. See, they've never signed a check in the front. They always signed the check in the back. They're very good in doing that. But as soon as this will be their own money, oh man, this will come to a grinding halt. But it's your money. And listen to this. Now Democratic leadership in the state legislature is even proposing to raise your taxes because they know they're running out of money. Well, that is the last thing you want to do. Raising taxes in order to cover public employees' costs. But what would they do next year? If they want to raise taxes this year, next year it goes up another 15%. So are they going to raise taxes again? And then the year after that it will go up again. Will they raise taxes again? We must not raise taxes or borrow more money. But what we have to do is really fix the problem. And this is why I insist on pension reform. I vowed not to sign a budget until we have pension reform once and for all. Now, I'm under no illusions about the difficulty of my task. It's going to be very difficult and very challenging. There's no two ways about that. Government employee unions are the most powerful political force in our state and largely control Democratic legislators. But for the future of our state, no task is more important. And I've always said, way back when I ran in 2003, when I ran for governor, I remember I said, when the special interests push me around, that I will push back. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm not going to let them push me around because I know what is right. And I think there's something wrong when we have those huge increases in pensions over the last 10 years. From $150 million to $6.5 billion. That is unfair. And what's also unfair is that you have to pay for your own pensions. And the public employees think that you should also pay for theirs. If you ask them to put in 5% more towards the pension contribution, they're up in arms and they say, oh, this is unfair. Well, let me tell you, we will solve this problem. Democrats and Republicans eventually will come together on this issue and will solve this problem once and for all. So anyway, thank you very much for watching and thank you for listening.